Okay, it's Sunday afternoon here at Romford Film Festival. I'm here with some filmmakers behind some of the shorts that we've just seen. If you'd like to just introduce yourself, your name and the name of your film and your roles within it, please.
I'm Vanessa Bailey, and our film was Wormholes, and I'm the director and the producer.
And I'm Jonathan Skinner, and I'm the writer of Wormholes.
I'm Rhys Prichard, and I'm the writer and director of Tulips.
And I'm Emmalie Fadli, and I'm the editor of Homonym.
Okay. We'll start with the writers first. How did the idea for your film first come about? How long did it take you to write it?
I don't think it took me too long. I write in a little bit of a frenzy, usually. I got the idea because I became very interested in quantum mechanics for some reason. I've always enjoyed science. Quantum mechanics is just bizarre. Nobody understands it. And it's like two particles can be in the same place at the same time, at opposite ends of the universe, and so on. So that was all very appealing. And then I wanted to write something where the audience wouldn't know whether it was real or not real. And also my late parents had a very eccentric cleaner, so I put all of those together and Wormholes.
Okay.
It took a while because it's kind of loosely based off of my own personal experience. So in 2018, when I was in my second year of film school, during the summer I went down to Wales to look after my grandfather, to give my grandma kind of a week's break as his full-time carer, looking after him with dementia. And when I went down there, I kind of set out, I was going to make a little summer project of making a documentary about his dementia. And then kind of when I started filming, I was kind of faced by this kind of moral dilemma of it felt ethically wrong and exploitative to film him. So I kind of put down the camera, but then that kind of conflict stayed with me, and I was like, oh, I could make a film out of this. And then I didn't straight away. I made 2 other films before that, and then I felt I wanted to do this story justice, so I came back to it when I felt a bit more experienced as a filmmaker. And then, yeah, so that's kind of the inception of the film.
And you can absolutely still see the conflict in the final, in the piece, you know, with the filmmaker. Vanessa, how did you first become involved with this film?
So, I run a film festival, which I'm not going to plug, but Jonathan submitted his short script, the screenwriting part of it, and it won Best Short Script. Then he went off to a bigger film festival and won some money to get the film made. So he very kindly, which is always the challenge with filmmaking. Of all the challenges, I think it's the money that we find the most difficult to get over. And so he very kindly came back to me and asked if I would produce and direct it, and I said yes immediately.
You very kindly said yes.
Well, no, not really.
Well, it's a big challenge.
Emmalie, so you're the editor. At what stage do you come on board? Were you involved from the script stage before shooting, or just in post?
No, so I came on after the film was done, shot, like production basically.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much after.
And how closely did you work with the director or producer, or did they kind of leave you to, you know, were they hands off? Did they leave you to do your thing, or did you collaborate?
The way can I be honest with you, it was quite a while ago now, so I can't remember everything, but the way I normally work is I work closely with the script supervisor's notes, and obviously if the director sends me any notes beforehand, but then I tend to do my first pass, at least like once or twice, like 1 or 2 drafts, and then if we get to a point where maybe I'm not quite understanding something or I've missed something, I don't really like to drag it out, so I'm like, hey, maybe you should sit with me and whatever. But I sat with Lily for quite a while. I mean, it's a short film, so I wouldn't say like forever, but I absolutely loved working with Lily, and I would have probably worked with her from the start. If we hadn't, I don't remember. That's the issue right now. Yeah. Sorry about that.
So how long roughly does it kind of take from when you first say, when it lands on your desk to hand it over the final product back?
The final product. that's not down to me.
Right.
That's down to deadlines and when the producers want it, the execs and stuff like that. So I just work to the deadlines and I do what needs doing, really. Yeah, so I mean, some stuff could literally be like within 3 weeks, other stuff it's a bit longer, it depends on notes and stuff like that, feedback, and yeah.
And what kind of beats do you look at? What kind of things do you want to make sure that you hit in a short film? How do you navigate the rhythm of a short film?
Yeah, well, I was going to say for me, pacing is everything. Obviously, as an editor, you might think your pacing is different. It's subjective. So obviously, the director might have different pacing and stuff. The way that I work normally is on the very first draft, the pacing will be quite slow and quite long. I tend to work in drama. I do cut comedy a bit too, which obviously the beats and the pacing is quite different there too. But on dramas, my first draft is always longer than any other, just to see. I would cut to my pacing on the first draft, but I know that my pacing might not be what someone else wants, so I just kind of leave it as long as possible, and then the director can say, okay, actually here's like where I feel like the next shot will be, or the whatever will be. I forgot your question after that. I'm going to be the worst person on this panel.
Absolutely, answered. No, I will be, don't worry. Let's start this end then. Let's take, can you think of both a challenge in memory from the shoot or the whole process, and then also your most favourite memory?
Oh, well, I've learned never work with children, animals, or eggs. Because when Jonathan gave me the script, it had a whole slow motion egg going through, and I'm like, that's not happening. So we had to find a sort of cheap and effective way of showing the magic of the egg. So that was a challenge, and I remember James, lovely, such lovely actors, such a joy to work with. And James is like a saint, except when it comes to the 36th try of catching an egg. And in fact, even my husband, who was a professional bowler, I brought him in because he was working as production manager on it, and I said, right, you throw the egg to him, and even he couldn't throw the egg in a straight line, and he'd done it. So yeah, the egg was definitely, and I think just all of it, I loved all of it. What I love about filmmaking is putting people together, because it's really not about the director, it's about pulling the team together. Casting is everything, and then the team also is everything, which doesn't make sense. But so it's that creating that alchemy of talent and the nuance of voice that every department brings. And I mean every department: hair and makeup, costume, sound. They all bring their voice to the film, and I love to create a space where that can happen, and everyone feels that their voice is being heard and contributing to the overall story. Jonathan, do you have anything?
What was the question?
Your most challenging moment and also your favourite moment.
Well, my favourite moment was the whole 2 days of shooting, because it was enormous fun, which makes it sound like it wasn't hard work, but it was hard work for everybody. Everyone always says the crew were brilliant, but they really were. Also, on both shooting days, we finished within about 5 minutes of the scheduled finish time, and we got every shot in, and we also it was enormous fun, but very hard work, so I think extremely satisfying. The worst bit, I don't think there was. I can honestly say the worst bit was just travelling back and forth from home, but for me,
I'm going to, because Jonathan won't say this, if there are any writers in the room, Jonathan was absolutely amazing, because you gave me, how long was your script when you gave it to me?
It was 10 pages.
Originally,
12, I think.
It was like 14 or something.
Oh, I'm 14.
and I said to him, I love this, you need to cut 4 pages. Right. And I sent him away, and he did.
Did I sulk?
No, you did not even sulk, and he cut the 4 pages, and he was on set. That's absolutely, don't do that. Don't have your writer on set ever. But he sat on set because he actually brought the money through this fund, and he watched the whole thing. But the whole thing with writing is screenwriters you must kill your darlings. You must do that for the sake of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And also, one more thing, I actually had a part in the last rehearsal, which Carling was very kind to invite me on board with, and it was cut. And so you do hear my voice in it, and I like to think my voice sounds great, but you don't see my face. And I remember Carling, she was feeling really bad. I felt so sorry for her because I got the email and I thought, oh, she must have sweated blood over this, because I know what this is like as a director. And you're like, oh, this is so awkward. And she's like, how can I say this? You're not in the film anymore. and I remember replying, I think I replied and I said, you absolutely did the right thing for the film. You did not need me in that film at all. So yes, well done. And that's what filmmaking is all about. Story is king, script, edit, everything. I don't know why I'm saying that, but it felt like it was right at the time. But yeah. Well done, Jonathan.
Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, sorry, it was a while ago, wasn't it? Your most challenging moment, also your favourite moment.
Most challenging is definitely because I wanted the film when we were shooting it. I wanted to try and keep it as chronological as possible for the sake of the actors, so they were kind of staying in the heads, like mind space of the character. But so that opens with the car scene, and I'd never shot a car scene before. And I didn't realise how difficult they are to pull off. So I'm in the back of the trunk with the monitor with the sound guy and the first AC who's pulling focus on the camera. And we just completely got it wrong with that scene, and I hate watching it back because I can just, I feel like in hindsight we should have done something different. But
no one notices that though.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
know
you.
it's
No one knows.
It's like, you see your own hands when you're
no
making
one
the
knows.
words. But so that was definitely the most challenging thing, was just the practicalities of shooting a car scene with but I think the same. It's kind of the community aspect of making a film when everyone comes together is just so important, and I think it's very stressful when you're in it, but then afterwards you kind of have this kind of almost, I wouldn't call it trauma bonding, but this bonding experience of it is like everyone feels very close afterwards, and I think that is very that's very special. And I also, there's the moment with the young actress who plays her in the kind of I've forgotten what it's called, but the flashback, the flashback scene. That was her first time on camera, and getting to direct someone when it's their first time. I don't know, it just felt special because she was very excited. So I just enjoyed that moment, I guess.
Most challenging part of your process on this film?
I'm so glad you asked that again, because I did forget the question again. I was going to say the best thing about the film, working on the film, was that what I got was so good. The rushes were amazing. I was like, is this TV? Is this a real film? I don't a Hollywood film. I don't really get it. But the rushes were so good that I was like, this feels nice. There's nothing I need. I almost don't need to do anything. The performances were great. Like I said, working with Lily was great. Everybody knew what they wanted, and the script was really good to start with. And the thing about editing is that you get a script, but sometimes the film isn't what you read, and you get it in your head that it's going to be one way, and then you get the rushes, and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, I have to make something out of this. The most difficult bit, I think, is that originally I started working in Avid, and I have no issues editing in Avid. I can edit, it's not an issue. But the software itself is a bit temperamental at times, and I think halfway through I had to migrate over to Premiere, because Premiere is a more just kind of simple thing. And I think with the deadline and everything, I was like, I can't be dealing with the crashes and stuff like that. So that was the hardest thing, because I think it took me a day and a bit to just migrate over, and I didn't have to recut anything or anything. It was just but it took some time, which obviously took away from from my time I had, and we thought that we were going to have to push the deadline, but then in the end we hit the deadline, and it was really good. And also we used S Club 7 originally in the film, on the radio. Okay. Reach for this, and so it was really fun to see it again and again, but unfortunately they couldn't get the rights for that, so it was quite
it's
sad.
upsetting.
Yeah, it would have been
You're
really
out
fun.
there. Shame
But
on
yeah,
you.
so yeah, that's it.
Okay. It's been a long few days. We're going to have to wrap it there, but thank you all so much for coming and representing your film, and congratulations, and we wish you luck in the future and hope to see you all again. Have a round of applause, please, for our filmmakers.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.